So, hello everyone, RoboISM welcomes you to a session where I will tell you how to make robot designs in Solidworks. Okay, so why have I chosen Solidworks? Basically, it is actually quite an amazing software and quite easy to learn as well. There are a lot of features and it's quite handy. It's for us to use. Okay, so let's start. Firstly, let's say you wanted to make something for the underwater robotics Dharya competition. Okay, so here is a random robot. Okay, just a prototype. Which how can your robot look? Okay, you can add a lot of use see thrusters and everything. You can add your electronics items and everything inside it and light and everything. This is basic design for a high end, let's say, robot for this competition. Okay, so you can design various types of robots as well. So let's say I want to start a new robot myself. I'll click here file and new. You would rather make a part or make an assembly. Let's say I make a part. So here you get a empty space. But before moving on, before starting this designing and everything, you should actually be aware of what you're going to make. So the best thing is to go on Chrome and first research and see what type of board you want, where would you put your electronics and what dimension would it be. This is all dimension based. It's everything. So let's say I want to start sketching the make the board. So I'll start with my front plane and sketch. Here the sketch I've come. You can pen this, easy to use, but it just decreases the size of the screen you're working on. And but it's quite handy to use. You can see all your tools here as well. You can sketch, you can make surfaces and everything. So let's say I make a rectangle, for example. Okay, exit. This is a 2D sketch. Now I will make this sketch 3D. Okay, so before moving on, you can also define the dimensions as well. Let's say this rectangle should be 10 centimeter in length and 12 centimeter in breadth. Okay, pretty good. This is how I have exited the sketch. Now you can go to features. You can see various features that you have. Each of these features will come like this cut and everything when you have a solid body. You can't cut sketches, right? You'll have to a solid body. So first let's say I extrude. I choose this sketch and you can drag it here as well, or which better would be you should type a value. Let's say I type it 10 centimeters. Okay, so you got this nice rectangle. And now let's say I want to make a hole on top of it, so I'll just sketch. And I made a circle. Now what does the circle have? A center and a radius. You can define a circle by center and a radius. So we have defined a center and now we'll label the diameter, which is double of the radius. Let's say we take it as 4 centimeters. This is okay. So let's say I want to cut it inside 2 centimeters. So you see we have this box kind of a structure, and we can also fillet it at our own choice. You can select multiple faces like this also, and just edges also. So this is what basically you can do with SolidWorks software. And now let's say I wanted to make an assembly from this part itself. So I think I would need another part as well which will fit. So either you can make an assembly and then make each parts, but or you can make them separately and join them together. So let's say I make a new part. Okay, front plane sketch. Now I want it to be a cylinder, a small cylinder with dimensions, let's say 3 centimeters, and exit I just extrude it to be around 5 centimeters. Okay. Now let's say I want to sketch on this. I want to make a slot. And a hexagon at the end of the slot, one portion of the slot. You can change the size also by putting a mouse. And one more thing, remember how to toggle your mouse in SolidWorks. By the left key you can click on the objects and everything, and by the scroll you can zoom in, zoom out by scroll key. You can rotate the model by pressing the scroll key. This way it will rotate. And you can use control and the scroll key, you'll press it. This way you can slide. Control, sorry, shift and the scroll key, you can zoom in, zoom out. Or if you want to go into some reference place, you can go in like this. So let's say I want to remove this inter area, like inside area of this hexagon. So let's say I'll move to trim. Okay, so I'll just trim this. Power trim is quite good to use. And now I want these two things to be just one single geometry, not different. So I'll just cut it. Here also you need to mind the gaps and everything. Okay, so you can see the points are not meeting, so you can actually make these like this, or you can use copy like control and press both and make them coincident. So yeah, you got a random slot. So just say you got a slot like this as well. You can define dimensions and everything. This is not an issue. So let's say I want to extrude it. I'll just extrude it and just select these two CC sides and extrude it up to 2 centimeters, or let's say 1. Okay, you got a random part like this. So let's save it. Let's save it in the desktop and call it as a part W1. Save. And let's save the previous one, like this one we made. Save as part W2. Save. Now let's say I want to start a new assembly. So I'll just make new and assembly. Let's say I want to start with part the base W2. You can change the orientation of how you want it according to your need. You can rotate it, and yep, this would be great. Okay, now you can introduce your other part as well by assembly, insert component. If you do here, you can see you can make a new part, new assembly and everything. but I have already made a part, so I'll introduce my part. You can either browse your softwares or open the very recent ones. Yeah, I don't want it like this. Yeah, okay. So now we can actually make these two parts, like the outer cylinder and the inner cylinder, and just made them coincident. Okay, concentric and everything you will find here. Now you have made it concentric, so if you rotate this will only rotate inside this. Okay, this will not move outwards of this, but the issue is it can still go up and down. So let's say I just constrain this side and this side as coincident. Okay, so as you can see, we have made a little bit sort of a complex structure as well. This is basically how you can start with SolidWorks. Very basic dimensions. You should learn it from YouTube and various other courses you can do, which will make you an expert on how to design machines and well. This was just a basic idea how to just start it. And yeah, for example, when you're making a robot, you would need some electrical components as well. Like you would need some sensors, or let's say some electronic components, Arduino boards, motors, and everything put inside your bot. Don't just make it inside, make them and waste time. You can get those things free online as well. Like for example, just go to GrabCAD. I think start with GrabCAD as well. Okay, you can see GrabCAD, the first stuff right that pops up. This, you can see products, library, and everything, or you can just go to the directly the library here. So in the library, you can actually search this community GrabCAD. You can search for, let's say, I want a gear motor. Just type gear motor, and you will get these motors. Don't copy your bot from here as well. You can just use them to your advantage for making electrical components. Okay, comping the entire bot and everything would be considered as cheating. So try make your own designs and use this software only for extra machinery, which is just not required for you to design. This way you can insert these machinery in your assembly which you make and get a viable bot assembly. So with this we end this video, and thank you so much.